Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. This is Richard, and my camera is just continually jacking up. Just randomly stopping. My SD card doesn't work very well anymore, and it's not the SD card, it's the spot that you insert it into the camera. It's just really jacking me up, and really need to get another camera. Anyway, today is Sunday. I have no clue what the date is. I don't know. It's in double digits, I know that. It's in the lower double digits, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I am going to take a walk to a local park, Jackson Morrow. Juliet Mike, for those of you who keep track of my campsites. And I don't know, I just thought I needed to get out. That's really what it is. I just need to get outside. I haven't been out in a few days. Everybody that's in the house is kind of gloom and doom, and a few of them in there have some depression issues going on. And I'm not depressed right now, but if I stay in there and absorb all of that negative energy, I'm going to start getting depressed as well. And I have no desire for that. Plus, I just want to get outside. Now look at these crab apples. Oh, those are nice and red. Let's see here. Let's grab this one right here. Take a little taste. You can't eat crab apples. I wouldn't suggest eating too many. They do give you a tummy ache, but they are good to add to cooking and things. Ooh, that's bitter. Holy cow. Now, up here are the wild grapes. These are the grapes that at the time that they were growing pretty prominent, I could not reach because they were way up there, and throughout the few weeks they've kind of dangled down a little bit, so they're kind of accessible now, but I'm not dealing with them right now. So anyway, generally I just want to get out because I want to be outside. I need to be outside and take these walks and get out in wilderness, or as close to wilderness as I possibly can, just nature in general. Which brings me to one of the topics that I want to talk about. But before I talk about that topic, I want to discuss something that's happening or has happened at the apartment complex that I live in that caused me to go a little apeshit. I would say stupid, but I don't think it's stupid. I'm just defending myself. So let's get to the park and then we'll discuss all that. Okay, so I'm not at the park yet. I'm getting ready to walk behind a strip mall, one of those outdoor strip mall type things. I'm going behind it to get to the park, but I figure I'll go ahead and discuss this issue before I get to nature and the calmness of all that, because I don't want to clutter up my nature walk with crap like this. So anyway, I live in an apartment complex, and there was trash and stuff thrown out in the hallway in the common areas. There's a bunch of trash thrown out in the hallways. Now, evidence, and clear evidence, shows that it came from somebody that lives upstairs. I live on the ground floor. But there was clear evidence to me, and as I'll discuss later, I expressed it to the so-called people who place themselves in authority, that there was clear evidence that the culprit was from upstairs. And they agreed that they believed the same thing. Now, I'm going to say this. I do not understand human beings. people confuse the crap out of me. I don't get you people. It goes far enough for me at this point. I don't even consider myself a human being anymore. I do not consider myself Homo sapien. I don't classify myself as a person at this point, because the only thing I have in similarity with humans is the appearance. I clearly do not have the thought process of you sheeple. I just don't get it. So anyway, without trying to go too far into that, so there was trash in the common area. Now, the powers to be, either the actual company or the people that are in the office there, decides that they're going to send a threatening authoritarian letter demanding that if the trash does not stop, that they are just going to charge everybody in the building, and there's 8 of us in that particular building. They are going to charge everybody a cleanup fee. Well, not being a normal human being like apparently the other 7 are, I wasn't going to take it. No. So, I marched my happy ass down there, and I neither marched nor was I happy, but I marched my happy ass down there, and I expressed my dislike for that. As a matter of fact, I told them that they weren't going to charge me a penny for cleanup of something they couldn't prove I had anything to do with, or I'd have their ass in court. I told them I wasn't going to stand for it, and I was pretty blunt, and I tried to be respectful to them, but I did express that they weren't going to charge me a fee for something I had nothing to do with. Well, she laughed at me, of course, and I told her to go ahead and laugh, but we'd see who was laughing when the court date showed up, and I would win the court case, because I done told her I would win the court case, because I would. I've sat in court too many times to know how the bullshit court system works, and there was no way that they were going to be able to charge me for something that they could not prove that I did. And their statement even stated that they believed that it was someone from upstairs, which did not include me. So anyway, I had my say. I was quite verbal about my situation and my stance on the topic, and to my face, you know, she didn't seem to really give a shit. She laughed it off. It wasn't even a smile. She laughed it off, and I told her to go ahead and laugh all she wants. I said, if I get a $10 fee, and that's what it was a $10 fee, but it's not the money, it's the principle. So I told her if I got a $10 fee for cleaning up crap, I said I would take it to court. And she goes, well, I don't think my company would go to court over $10. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what your company wants. If I bring the suit, it's up to me to decide whether or not I continue it through court, not them. So anyway, going back to this authoritarian threat of charging everybody in the building money unless it was cleaned up and left clean. So apparently I was the only one that had an issue with it. Apparently everybody else just cowered and complied to whatever pretend authority these people think they have. But I will say this. I thought it would cause an outrage, only because it did in me. But apparently it did not, and it's clean, and it has not had any kind of crap thrown on it since. I don't like that it worked, because I don't think that was a good idea to threaten everybody. but it seemed to work, which just goes to show you that the sheeple today comply to threats from people they think are authority. So, enough of that, I think. That's not the complete and whole story, but that's the general synopsis of it. I got a nasty letter from the office challenging me, and I took that challenge and I took it head on, and I challenged back. That's just who I am. That's how I am. Right or wrong, I don't apologize for it, and I never will. If you don't want me to challenge you, then don't challenge me, plain and simple. Okay, so we're near the opening. The woods around here has this wonderful smell of like rotting apple. I don't know if you can consider rotting apple as like an awesome smell or not, but it's kind of like not really fresh apples, but more apples that are kind of falling off the tree and you know, been sitting on the ground for a little bit. Kind of has that kind of smell to it. It definitely has a autumn, fall type smell and feel to the whole area. I do not comprehend human beings. I don't get you people. I really don't. Now, I say this all the time, and I'm going to reiterate it again. There is a difference between comprehending and understanding. There is a very slight difference, but there is a difference. All right. To comprehend something, you can use the word to understand. Okay, so I will use the word understand. To comprehend is to understand it without the concept of abiding by it. If you say you understand something, and this is the reason when police officers read you the Miranda right, they will ask you, do you understand? Now, if you tell them yes, what you're saying is not that you get what they're telling you, that you understand what they're telling you or you comprehend it. It's got nothing to do with that. It's the fact that you are binding yourself to what they're saying. You are agreeing to place yourself under the rule of what they tell you. So when they say, do you understand your rights? What you're really saying, what they're really saying is, do you agree that I'm your authority? That's truly what's being said. So when you understand something, not only are you saying that you comprehend it, but you're agreeing to abide by it. That's to understand. To comprehend is an understanding without the promise of abiding by it. Now, you can disagree with those interpretations or definitions, which is fine. You know, that's not Webster's version of it. It's not any of the versions that I've ever read. That's my personal definitions for those two words. So when I do say understand, and I still do use the word understand a few times, but I try to restate and say comprehend, because I should not use the word never. I cannot think of an instance that I would say and truly mean that I understand what somebody is telling me. I may believe I comprehend it, but rarely will I understand it, because I don't stand under anybody's rule, no matter who you think you are. So anyway, there we go. I even really have trouble with the word comprehend. I shouldn't say trouble, I have issue with it. Because do we really comprehend it? No one really knows. So the actual idea of comprehending something is not actually something that we can really perceive, because we may think we comprehend it, but we don't actually. So if you say you comprehend something, You may perceive that you comprehend it, but you may not actually really comprehend something. So I don't even like to say that I comprehend something, because I may think I do, but that doesn't mean I accurately do. And we can go back to the Miranda rights that the police officers are constantly reading to people. You know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, blah, 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 and all that stuff, right? So, but how many people really, really, truly comprehend what you're being told? Now, I would say most people probably don't. So, as an example, just as a small example, when they tell you that anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, what they're telling you in truth is that it doesn't matter what you say, it will never be used for you. It will always be used against you. It doesn't matter if you express your innocence about something. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Period. There is no, well, you know, it'll be used against you if it's criminal, but if, you know, you can exonerate yourself through your own speech, then good, right? No. Has nothing to do with that. It doesn't matter what you say, good, bad, or indifferent, it will be used against you, period. Most people don't comprehend that. Which is why I always say, I don't care whether you're innocent, I don't care whether you're guilty, I don't care what the circumstances is. Never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, talk to a police officer. Never say a single word to them other than, I want a lawyer. Never express anything to a police officer except those words. Lawyer. That's it. Now, I'm not anti-police. They have a purpose. I don't always agree with the purpose. Well, I never agree with the purpose. I think that they have a necessity in society. To a degree, they have a purpose. But I think they always overstep their purpose, and I think they abuse their authority. I personally have worked many, many, many years with my local police department. Now, my local police department is corrupt. Just like any other police department, they're all corrupt. I don't give a shit who they are, what they say, they're all corrupt in one way or another. As a matter of fact, I've known many who are worse than the criminals they arrest, and that's just a fact. So anyway, even the kindest, truly helpful person who goes into that job, you know, even someone who truly, honestly went into it to do nothing more than to help society as a whole. I've seen it, and I've been around it. Even they get corrupted, some more than others, but they even get corrupted, without doubt. Generally, you have two types of people that become police officers, and this is from my experience. You can disagree with it, but I have found that it is accurate and true. Two types of people. The people that got bullied in high school or in school in general, those who got bullied, become police officers so that they can bully other people back. And the bullies who want to continue the bullying after they get out of the school or the situation in which they were doing the bullying in the first place. Those are generally the two type of people that I have found that desire to and become police officers. And then again, there is a very small group of people who truly, honestly wish to do good for the community as a whole. But, and again, from my experience, they get corrupted by bullies and the people who want to be the bullies because they were bullied as a child. They end up getting corrupted. Every one of them, varying degrees of corruption, but it's there. I don't care what they say. I could express many accounts of criminal activity done by police officers that I may or may not have been privy to or involved with. Possibly. I'm not saying I was. I'm just saying that it's possible. I've got many stories I could tell, but I shouldn't. I probably really shouldn't. I probably shouldn't have even said that. But anyway, it's a true fact. And I truly, honestly try to never lie about anything. Now, omitting things, so like I said, omitting things is not lying about them. It's just not including them into the story. As an example, I could say that I was witness to a police officer physically abusing a suspect who was guilty, by the way. He was guilty of what he was accused of being. We'll say that. But physically abused while handcuffed, including choking, lifting up and slamming down, and there was no actual punching, but I could be privy to such an act. I could also express that at the time there was definite evidence of this action in the case of video. I can also say that video vanished and was deemed untraceable. There was accusations of it. There was an inquiry, and it was found that there was no such video because no one could find the video. Things like that happen a lot. I could also say that if you're friends with police officers and you get yourself in a jam, depending on the jam, but if you get yourself in a jam, they will hook you up. It's also possible that if you're friends with police officers and you are being pestered, they would offer to go harass somebody for you. That's a possibility. Now, of course, if that was done, let's just use me as an example. Let's just say that story was about me. Let's just say that somebody was bothering me or irritating me or pestering me in some manner, and it was just bugging the shit out of me. And an officer came up to me and said, "Hey, you want me to go bug them for you? You want me to go bother them? You want me to go intimidate them for you?" I would say no, but the offer may have been real. So I truly don't know how much of this I'm really going to use. I probably shouldn't use any of this stuff about the cops. You could say, well, Richard, you seem to have known some pretty corrupt police officers. Most of them are not like that. And my response would be, bullshit, they're like that. Anyway. Woo-hoo.